Guess what, everybody? Illari is being nerfed. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. So we've got a few things to cover in today's video. We are going to start with the Illari nerfs and what that could mean for the hero. We're also going to move on to a change which is coming to Brig soon. And finally, we're going to end in my favorite place, the Overwatch store, because yet again, we've got a horrific item in the store that is overpriced and is just a recolor of a previous Battle Pass skin. So this is what we've got when it comes to Illari's nerfs. The lead hero designer says this on Twitter or X or whatever the hell the website is called these days. He says this: when Illari enters competitive next week, she will receive nerfs to Healing Pylon and Captive Sun. Overall, we've been very happy with her release and the response has been great. Still aiming for her to be impactful when she enters competitive, but a little tuning is needed. He then goes on to say, over time, we'd like to position our changes to mostly keep her aggressive nature intact and hit the amount of sustain she provides. Believe this will help sharpen her identity and team fit well. Ultimate is getting tuned outside of this philosophy, but is pushed in current form. Okay, so what we've got here is a nice little bit on the philosophy for the hero moving forward, which I think is always great to see sort of behind the curtains there when it comes to the development of heroes and the directions the devs are going to take the heroes in. But I think what is interesting with this hero is there's no mention of primary fire nerf. Instead, they're going to look at the Healing Pylon and Captive Sun, which of course is the ultimate. Now, I think we should start off with Captive Sun to begin with. This has got some weird properties to it, like namely, this will go through shields. So when you fire this at a group, it doesn't matter if there's a Reinhardt with his barrier up or whatever, it will actually apply the effect to Reinhardt through his barrier. So of course, if he then takes additional damage, he will explode, and then there's the potential to get that chain reaction explosion if whole teams together. I'm sure you guys have seen highlight clips of Illari wiping out teams at the moment. Now, I will say this. Captive Sun is actually quite easy to counter. I mean, D.Va can eat the projectile. It does move really, really slow. And when Illari uses it, she is actually quite vulnerable. When you're flying around in the sky, it's very easy for you to be taken out. If the enemy team have got a hit scan, they're just gonna kill you, basically. So, yeah, I don't know whether it does need nerfing, but it is interesting that they're looking at it. And honestly, I'm kind of indifferent. But I would hope that they at least allow shields to not be... Well, don't let the effect go through shields. Apart from that, maybe they're just going to reduce the damage numbers when it comes to the actual explosion of the ultimate, because maybe you can argue it is a little bit ludicrous when you land this on a whole team and then damage is followed up and everybody basically explodes and there's kind of almost no way to stop it once the effect has been applied. But I would argue that the whole point of countering Illari's ultimate is to actually stop her before she fires it at you, maybe. But again, I can understand how that could be a bit difficult. But yeah, interesting nonetheless. Now, moving on to Healing Pylon. Again, like, we've got no details here as to what these nerfs will entail. Now, I'm a little bit worried about Healing Pylon because this is where I feel a lot of the power comes from the hero. You can play around your Healing Pylon, and a lot of the Healing Pylon's effectiveness depends on how you deploy it. So, how could they nerf her? Well, I think in my eyes, a bad nerf would be to put a time limit on the turret itself. So if it's deployed and it's only active for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and it disappears, I think that's going to be kind of frustrating. So I hope they don't do that. There is potential for them to nerf the actual health of the turret. They might reduce its shields that it's got. Again, this is something which I'm not really sure is needed, but it might be at lower levels of play. Now, I'm by no means some ultra high level player. I might have been in the past, but I'm not now. Generally play a lot of quick play. I mean, from my perspective, like, when you come against good hit scan players, they don't even have to be hit scan, like good DPS players, they will generally just destroy your pylon. Even good tank players, let's just say good players, they will take out your pylon if they can see it. So that then becomes a game of, have you deployed the pylon correctly? And from my perspective, the pylon works really well, and it is kind of easy to deploy when you are taking a fight sort of straight up against the enemy team. As soon as there's any movement involved, the pylon, it's left behind. You're waiting for the cooldown to come so you can deploy it again. And yeah, and deploying the pylon in a fight means that you're not actively, you're not actively using your main heal. You're not doing damage. So there is a trade-off there, and there is always this discussion which has always been had with the trade-off, the give and take that Blizzard tend to apply when it comes to heroes design. So yeah, I think on the outside, I don't think they will reduce the amount of healing the pylon does. I think it's more going to be focused on maybe the uptime of the Pylon, which I'm hoping is going to be focused on the health of the Pylon. So if I was to nerf the hero right now, I would say, okay, Captive Sun no longer applies through shields, or at least the effect doesn't, and when you detonate the projectile, and Healing Pylon is got less health, basically. That's what I would do. We'll have to wait and see, though. Next up is a nice little bit of news here. So this is Brig, and there was a bit of an outcry, or maybe outcry is a strong word to use. But Brig sort of lost some muscles, especially in a spark plug skin, which is part of the Ironclad PvE mission. And obviously you can earn the skin. But good news. So one of the designers actually tweeted out and said, hey, we are fixing this. And it looks like what they're doing is they're going to add a bit more shading to a bicep, so she does look a bit more muscular. You can't see it in this image because it is a GIF and it's on the frame which isn't edited. The reason why I'm not showing you it is because it's actually been deleted, the tweet, and this was confirmed by the developer, in which he says, thanks guys, the biceps update will still happen, but I had to remove the tweet. Again, we don't know why, but it's probably because it contained a little bit of, I don't know, the dev environment in the background. I don't know, but I thought it was a cool tweet. Bit weird that it was deleted. Okay, let's go to the store, right? So, load up the game. Look at this. Oh, look, Gentle Monster collaboration. What could this be? Well, let's have a look at this. Ah, yes, it is the Gentle Monster Diva bundle. So, let's take a look at this. Oh, look, it's got 29% off. Yes, okay. Now, there's something a bit familiar with this skin, isn't there? Like, I mean, I looked at this and I was like, this is the EDM skin. This is the skin you got for buying the Premium Battle Pass Season 1 with a recolor, and it's being resold as a branded integration skin with the brand Gentle Monster, which is a South Korean like fashion brand. I think they make glasses. I think that's what we're sort of looking at. Like the glasses are the thing they're trying to sell. But forget this. Let's just go and take a look at this, because this is where, like I said, things get a bit sad. I don't know why I was looking at supports then, but things get a bit sad. So, right, so EDM. This is the EDM skin. Nice skin. It's got custom sound effects, this has. It's got custom visual effects as well. And it changes color. It's amazing. I actually think this is a good skin. But when you start looking at the detail on Diva herself, look at her clothing, you know, look at all this. The only thing that's different is the headset and the glasses, right? And obviously the colors. So everything else is identical. They've just recolored this model, which is a Battle Pass skin. I mean, this is the thing to take away from this. They are starting to reuse old Battle Pass assets and basically recoloring them and adding them into the store. And in this case, they're doing it in the fashion of this. There is apparently another version of this skin. I believe various content creators have got access to this skin because I think they were involved in some sort of promotion with the glasses or something. I've seen a bunch of tweets flying around of a different color variation of this skin. But yeah, it's just a recolor. Like, I mean, it's an insult, to be honest. If I was the company that was involved in this branded integration, I'd be like, guys, why are you just reusing the skin? Like, you haven't actually done anything. You've literally just put Diva's headset on. And I mean, it's weird. It is so weird. It is identical. The skin is actually identical, even down to the weapon. I mean, look at this weapon model here. The only difference is it says, I think it says Toki on the thing. Hang on. Well, I'll just show you. I'm sure it says that. Let's have a look. No, it says EDM. Okay. Yeah, it couldn't say Toki, could it? It's got too many letters. But yeah, it just says EDM. It's literally the same model. This is sad. This is really, really sad. And you know what? This is one of those things where whoever has approved this is probably going to get a pat on their back because they've used absolutely minimal development time and they've produced something which is now selling for the lovely price of $1,900 if you want to buy it on its own, which of course is $19. But wait, there's a little bit more. This actually launched as $1,000. And then they were like, oh, no, actually, no, it's a legendary skin because it launched as an epic skin. They actually put tweets out, and I'm really annoyed that I don't have these tweets because take it from me, guys, on my phone, I woke up in the morning and there was 2 tweets from Play Overwatch because obviously I have the alert on every time they tweet. And the top one was like, oh, look, it's the Gentle Monster skin for Diva and it's 1,000. It even said epic in brackets. Then they deleted that tweet and obviously tweeted again, this time legendary, and it's not 1,000, it's 1,900. That's if you buy it on its own. Of course, remember, and this has always been one of the biggest issues I've had with the store, is when you go to the store and you look at the skins, you can't buy any of this individually in the store. Like, you have to buy the whole package here. There's no, like, little button here which is like, oh, yeah, I just want the skin. because they want you to spend $26, of which they're trying to con you into thinking all this was worth $37. Oh, also, what's Diva doing in the floor? What is Diva doing in the... Well, I know what Diva's doing in the floor there. They basically need to put a texture on the floor here to hide, because Diva's always there in every highlight intro, but there's no texture on the floor here, which is funny. But again, this is part of a paid pack. It's not even... Like, why haven't they checked this? What the hell are they doing? It's so amateur. It's absolutely terrible. Yeah, this is cute. Whatever. Showing the glasses off. Great. I mean, I have to admit, I knew nothing about this brand until this integration, so it's a little bit weird. But then again, I suppose they'll take money from whoever wants to pay for whatever integration. So, yeah, that's the skin drama. I mean, I just think this is so utterly, terribly cheap. Like, it's just terrible. There is no way around this, is there? Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below, guys. I've been Stylosa. And I'll catch you lovely lot on the next video. See you soon.